We have another fence to paint today. Now today's painters are named Madi and Chloe. Now it usually takes Madi 6 hours to paint a fence on her own, while it takes Chloe 10 hours to paint a fence on her own. But today, they're painting together. And Chloe's going to paint first. So Chloe is going to start painting at 12 o'clock. And then 2 hours later, at 2 o'clock, Madi will join her. And then they will finish painting together. And we want to find out, when do they finish painting the fence? So you can see that this is the exact opposite of the fence problem with Adam and Mark. In that problem, Adam and Mark started together, Adam left, and then Mark had to finish on his own. Today, Chloe starts on her own, and then she will finish together with Madi. So let's find out when they finish. Now the first thing we need to do is find out how much of the fence Chloe has painted on her own. So Chloe paints from 12 to 2. Now since Chloe usually takes 10 hours to paint a fence on her own, that means each hour Chloe is painting 1/10 of a fence. And since Chloe paints alone for 2 hours, that means in 2 hours, Chloe paints 1/10 times 2, which is 1/5 of a fence. And because Chloe paints 1/5 of a fence on her own, this leaves 4/5 of a fence to be painted. Now at 2 o'clock, Madi will join her, and since Madi usually takes 6 hours to paint a fence on her own, that means each hour Madi is painting 1/6 of a fence. Chloe is still painting at a rate of 1/10 of a fence each hour, so together they both paint 4/15 of a fence each hour. So now that we know how much of a fence Chloe and Madi paint together each hour, let's say that they paint for T hours. This means that the rate at which they paint times the amount of time they spend painting will give the total amount of work done. So how much work is left for them to paint? Well, it's not 1 anymore because it's not an entire fence. Remember, at the beginning, Chloe already painted 1/5 on her own. So really, there's only 4/5 of a fence left to paint. So 4/15 times T equals 4/5. From here, we can find T. T ends up being 3. So Chloe and Madi paint together for 3 hours. And since Madi joined at 2 o'clock, 3 hours after 2 o'clock means Chloe and Madi will finish at 5 o'clock. Which is just in time for them to both catch the evening rush after a hard day's work.